tailgate.
Okay.
And I mentioned to Jeff that I got this little radio instead of a computer. And he said, well, I used to have one of them.
All right.
He said that was cool.
What year do you think it was?
Oh, that was the radio itself.
Yeah.
I bought it and I kept it in the box for probably 5 to 10 years because I had one that was working.
Really?
And then finally the other one broke. And I had bought it at Walgreens and it was on sale. And they only had one, so I couldn't buy any more.
Mm-hmm.
But it was probably, I'd say 15 years ago.
Wow.
And I started listening to that radio now.
Got a great story to tell you. Way back when we were little boys, you know, I used to side with the Indians all the time. Natives. We called them cowboys and Indians back then, though. And my brother Tom would get so mad at me because I'd be rooting for the natives, you know. And so one day he went out and got the BB gun. Mom and Dad were gone, of course. He didn't think there was any BBs in there, and he shot the TV screen. It was bad.
Did it make individual holes or did the whole
No, it just shattered it. It just shattered it. So I had to call up Tom. It was like this last spring, I think. I started thinking about it. I'm out there at the ranch. I'm thinking about it. I'm going, did that really happen? I mean, I was only like 4. So I'm going, did that really happen? So I call him up and I go, Tom, did that really happen? He said, yeah, Kevin, that was a bad year. Not only did I shoot the screen out of the TV, but I flunked first grade, and then I told everybody, the teachers and everybody, that my mom tried to drown me, and that's the reason I flunked first grade. He said that wasn't a good year. And from that point on, he was in my grade, my brother Tom.
Oh, yeah.
A year and a half older, much bigger, and he was always in my grade. Have you reached 70 yet?
Yeah.
What day was that?
It was April 21.
April 21. 70 years old. Living way out here in a mountain claim.
Had several people come up in the summertime after dark. One was a guy who I met on the road, and he said he'd come to visit, and unlike most people, he did come to visit.
Right.
And he had one of those little 4-wheel Polaris type vehicle.
Yeah.
And he did come up one time on his own, and the second time he came up with 3 girls, 16 to 18 years old. One was his daughter, the other 2 were her friends.
Showing him a good time,
And
huh?
it was 10:30 on a Saturday night, I think.
Oh, really? They were up here that late?
That lady came up, and he was driving an old Polaris. He must have had confidence that he knew the road, but I wouldn't have had that confidence like that,
Really?
especially when you have other people here.
Got those girls all fired up. And he's fired up because they're fired
But they
up.
didn't have any lights.
They didn't have any lights either?
He
They did it in moonlight?
He had them on the Polaris.
Oh,
But
okay.
then once he got here, they didn't have any light to see where they were going.
Oh.
And those girls were hanging out up here, and the older fella, and I think he's probably gay. But he's a good guy, and he's no threat.
Mhm.
Just he did way too much hugging. He didn't have to. It was unnecessary.
That's pretty funny.
And so then he was down there by the house, and I said, well, and just then the girls started walking down, and all I was wearing was long john bottom underwear. But nobody could see anybody else,
Uh-huh.
except their face a little bit. And so that was one, and then what was the other one? I guess that was both. He counted for one, the girls counted for one.
It's good you have a place like this to get away from all that shit. Look how calm you are right now.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah? It
10
starts off, it makes you move around, the medicine makes you move around quite a bit.
I didn't say that. The doctor told me that because I happened to be in his office. That was the time of our appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was moving around, and I was able to stop, and that's when he gave me his idea of the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And he may not know everything there is to know about it, but there's 1 million people in the United States that have Parkinson's, and then
No
around
shit.
around the world, there's a proportional amount. Like in India, there's going to be the same percentage as there is in the United States. Which is
How long has this Parkinson's been around?
Well, that's the thing. I'd say you go back and it was called Bell's palsy.
Oh, okay.
Palsy in general, and that was on other parts of the body. It could be any part of the body that would be shaky. My father's uncle, I think it was. Well, he was always an eccentric guy, and he didn't work much. We as kids would see that he didn't work much, and he had his voice was very high, and we would be a lot of pauses, and I can identify with that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard you.
But
Especially right after you did your medicine.
yeah, right. So he had what he himself called palsy.
Uh-huh.
And then in him it would be a lot of facial tremors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Like around the eyes and stuff?
Right, and then I remember seeing him do it in the shuffle, you know, walking.
Mm-hmm.
Little baby steps. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as a kid, you know, we didn't know much about that.
Great.
Not many people do know much about it.
Right.
And I don't know
You
if
thought he was dancing.
if he was taking medication or not. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose for a while there wasn't anything, right?
And that would have been 50 years ago.
50?
And then surely people have experiences farther back than that.
Mm-hmm. Sure nice to be back out here again, Ron.
Yeah, you and Dusty were in missing persons. Since you both have been gone in the same. Well, you were here.
I was here once
or
between,
twice.
yep. Once or twice before, between.
Yeah.
But
But
it's been too long. It was like springtime that I came out last, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
I
it?
think it was April.
Yeah. Maybe for your birthday?
No, you
Hmm.
didn't come for my birthday.
Hmm.
I
That was April 21st, right?
Yep.
I remember now. It's funny too because Taz's favorite number is 21. April's a beautiful month. I should be able to remember it now. How many more birthdays do you think you'll have?
I don't think so much about numbers, but I think about what my quality of life is going to be. You know, I don't want to be in an assisted living home, but if I found a good one, that'd be pretty good to be better than here.
Or have somebody assist you up here.
Right. That's good.
Hey,
Yeah.
if I lose the ranch, I want to be the guy, okay? You would think there'd be somebody else out there too. Maybe even a woman.
Well,
Well,
it'd have to be major improvements to the place.
not too much. She could be a rough one. There's some rough ones out there. The adventurous souls that.
A septic tank behind my house. There's septic tanks are in the ground.
Oh, they are, huh?
They have been since Dusty put them in
No shit.
35 years ago.
Wow. So you can actually have a toilet if you want. Yeah. Wouldn't that be better? I mean, if you could advertise for that. Assisted living, how much could you pay her? Could she live here and make enough money to, feed both of you well and yeah. And does she have to drive you down into work for True West
Yeah.
like you do? That's amazing you go down there 3 times a week. Drive down this road. How long does it take you to get there?
Oh, 40 minutes.
40 minutes. 3 times a week, twice a day.
Yeah. 6 times.
6 times.
40. 2 hours. And
Do you ever go down besides those 3 days?
Oh, I had to go down to the creek because something was working on my truck.
Yeah, but that's different.
Uh,
You're still in the homestead there.
Yeah.
So tell me, do you know, can you see Weaver's Needle way out there?
Yeah.
Okay. See the flat spot below it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is?
The Leland Highway.
Is it really?
I think. I know one time we went behind Dusty's house. You have better eyes than anybody who was involved in that idea, and you said you saw.
Traffic out there?
No traffic, but it's the highway.
Okay.
And that's what I'm wondering if I want to see him from here.
Wow.
'Cause it's
How
so
many
short.
miles away is that? 30?
Maybe 20, 25.
Okay.
See, the fountain is 10.
Oh, really? Well, then
So-
it's only about 20. You're right. Weaver's Needle probably 30.
That's probably true, yeah. It's hard to tell.
Superstition Mountain's probably 30.
Hard to gauge.
4 peaks now. That's not much more
That's
than
40.
Than,
40.
yeah. Oh, it's 40.
I can't swear to it, but
Oh, yeah. It's quite a ways beyond the highway. What am I thinking?
maybe I should say it's 7,400 feet at the top.
Is that what it is?
But telling how far it is from here is a little.
It is 7,400.
So
That's the same height of what we go in from the rim to go into the ranch. What about that?
I think it's actually 77.
Well, we're about like 75, 76 in this general ballpark. Wow. So that's the same elevation straight across. But the assisted living thing, you know, to have somebody assist you, it could cost you a lot less, and you could enjoy it a lot more just by hiring somebody, and maybe yeah, she stays in Dusty's place. I mean, that place could be grandiose for the right person, whether it's a girl or a guy or a gay guy who's not too huggy.
Yeah.
As long as he's not expecting you to put out, you're fine with it, right? It could be cheaper and better and longer, I think. I could see you here another 10 years yet.
Yeah, it's
Would that be one of the oldest of your family?
My mother lived to be 82.
Oh, so you do have some longevity there.
That's about it. Well,
What about your
I'd have to
dad?
go back. My father was 76.
That's still up there pretty good. So you got a good 10 years left. And it'd be nice if you could be out here. Of course, you got to make for sure we don't get one of those worry warts, and take your medicine.
He has to do some big time screening.
Right. Yep. You would be the screener, of course. First of all, they'd have to have a rig to get up here, right? And then they come up and visit. You show them around.
Yeah, having a rig is maybe the most important thing of all.
You're right. And then, but wait, do you want their cooking skills?
Well, it depends what kind of cooking.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not that fussy of an eater, really.
really.
I
But would you want them to cook for you, or would you want to be able to cook for yourself as
I
long as
don't
you
know.
can?
I think if somebody would cook for me, it'd be a great leisure.
If they're gonna be up here and you're paying them,
Right.
all of a sudden you could be like all those other white imperialists and have somebody taking care of you.
Right. That's going to be a hard one for me, but it will also be a pleasure to have somebody.
You have to work on that after you've been so self-sustained for all these years for yourself, to have somebody take care of you. I mean, that in itself is like probably hard for you to actually allow it to happen. That's
Yeah.
why I was wondering if maybe you wouldn't want to cook.
Well, in an emergency situation, or say the assistant person has to go
Mhm,
somewhere,
mhm.
can't be there, because you can't expect them to have
Right.
every day.
Right. They have a life.
Right.
And that would be the good thing if you could advertise that it's not like a 7-day-a-week thing. It's a 3 to 4 day week thing.